sequel to MSNBC, The Savage Nation, next on MSNBC.
It means that there's a lot of people who believe in me. Thank you, my friend. I'll be right back on The Savage Nation. Be here or be nowhere.
I'm tired of all those ads.
I'm listening to my show on the Reno station on the way home.
Love you, Michael.
Well, thank God somebody's not insane in this city.
I listen to you every day.
Right on. He'd probably give me a ticket. I'm sorry, officer.
That's you. Look what I have.
Oh, I don't believe it. Get this woman on tape. I don't believe it.
I love you, Michael.
Stop the traffic. I'm signing that book in the traffic. Can we make a left here legally?
Yes.
Savage wins! Could you believe that? Look, we got the lights behind us. Get that, man. Look at this. It's like we're getting the ticket, but instead she's getting a signed book. I love this. Okay, I'll pull over, officer. I'm sorry. Can I sign my book for you? Isn't this great? I love it. I got to get her name. I give up.
You don't understand. I'm kind of one of those cropped-haired women, but I still love you.
I'm afraid of you. I ain't gonna say nothing that you don't like. This is unbelievable.
I've been waiting for this the whole day.
Yeah, all day. I said he's coming tonight. I knew I'd find you here.
This is the biggest thrill of the night. When I saw those lights, I said it's either good or bad.
Oh, it's good.
If you live with a woman, I need your help.
Oh,
you got to be on my side.
I know. I told her. I said I'll be on your side.
I don't know what they're after me for. I'm not anti-gay. What do they want from me?
I don't know. I am on your side. I'll be looking
Hey,
at your
man,
website.
I love it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
We love you.
I love this.
Warning, The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, and psychological nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. You're watching MSNBC. Now, best-selling author and one of America's most popular radio personalities, Michael Savage, on The Savage Nation.
Quite an opening. Unbelievable. I loved it. I'll tell you more about the red Cadillac a little later. And the happenstance. It was not created. So here's the dragon. If you pinch me, do I not scream? I'm Michael Savage. Welcome to my premiere show. I got to tell you something. When I woke up this morning, I felt as though I was going into surgery. You know, cardiac surgery would be easier than this. It reminds me of my first radio show. Believe me, I had many careers before I went into radio, all successful, incidentally, except the career I wanted, from which I was blocked because of affirmative action. But we won't go into that. I'm doing quite well. Thank you. So I went on to my first radio show 8 years ago. Filled in for a liberal guy, didn't know what I was getting into. I go on the air, I'm on the air 5 hours, people are hating me, cursing me. I drive home, I'm looking in my rearview mirror the entire way home, I'm shaken, I get home and I say, I'm never going to do a radio show again. I don't need that much hatred. Well, 8 years later, I'm in the top 5 of the radio business. Let's hope 8 years from now, God willing, the same story will be told about television. The big stories to me this week are very clear. We had President Bush give a speech the other night that was rather tepid, to be honest with you. Rather tepid. I don't know why there's no emotion. I don't know why there's no passion. We're about to go to war. Surely there must be a compelling case made. I'm going to make that case tonight. And I have a question for you. I want you to watch some footage that we're going to run initially for you right now. This footage has been available. It shows you that we have a Hitler in the Middle East. The man has committed atrocities like this, and he's never been brought to trial. Yes, we need regime change. But why do I, Michael Savage, have to be the one to show this footage when it's been readily available for all of these years? Can someone explain to me whether you think this is too much to show on television? Is it appropriate to show this on television? The phone number here is 1-888-MSNBC-USA. I'm going to show that footage over and over again today. Because to me, it answers why we fight. And I think that President Bush's advisors should have used this footage the other night when the whole world was watching. Do you agree with me? Do you think that President Bush should have shown that footage when he gave his speech? I'd like your opinion here on the Savage Nation. Also this week, we had an amazing piece of propaganda done by Dan Rather. Why do I call it propaganda? Because I lay down in my bed and I watched it. Shut the door, closed the lights, and I watched Dan perform with Saddam Hussein. And after 5 minutes, Saddam started to look like a reasonable guy. After 10 minutes, I liked Saddam Hussein. After 15 minutes, I thought he was nicer than George Bush. Was that propaganda, in your opinion? Or was that journalism? Now, the answer to the question is simple. I understand that Dan had a tough job. I understand the dangers involved. I understand the delicate line he had to walk to get the interview. But, you know, after the interview with Saddam, Dan Rather could have run the footage that I ran for you, that I will run for you again. Put the man in context. It is as though we're on the brink of invading Normandy, and FDR is trying to make a case for invading Normandy and taking down Adolf Hitler. It's as though he has the footage of the Auschwitz death camps, and he chooses not to show it for political correctness. Why shouldn't he have shown those death camp videos? At that time, of course, there were no videos, on Pathé News and all the movie theaters around the country. Well, the answer is, I believe this footage is critical to the war effort, and I believe we must see it more rather than less. Topic number 3 or 4, whatever it may be, on the Savage Nation. We had a huge victory today. President Bush did. He captured the mastermind of 9/11. Number 3 in Al-Qaeda is captured. Now, for months now, the Democrats have been screaming, meh, 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 meh. You're not getting Al-Qaeda. Why isn't he going after Al-Qaeda? So he goes after Al-Qaeda, and with the help of the CIA and Pakistani intelligence, probably 90% the CIA, they capture this guy, the mastermind of 9/11. This should have been the news all week. Give the president some credit where credit is due, for God's sakes. Topic number 4 in the Savage Nation today. And again, I invite you to call on any of these topics at 1-888-MSNBC-USA on the First Savage television program. And this is a tragic story, and I want you to hear the whole picture before you judge me. A few weeks ago, a 14-year-old girl was smuggled into America from Mexico. She was smuggled into America from Mexico to receive an organ transplant. And before you judge me, I want to tell you something. I pray to God that Jessica Santillan is in heaven, where she belongs. She was mutilated by Duke University, in my humble opinion. And I pray for her family, because I know what they're going through. They lost a beautiful angel. But that's not the question. The question to me is, why was an illegal alien put at the head of the list for an organ transplant? Do you think it's fair that an illegal alien is put ahead of Americans who may have been waiting weeks or months for an organ transplant? I don't. And I want your opinion. The phone number here, 1-888-MSNBC-USA. Let's take some callers when they are available. Also, I'm going to be talking about a phenomenon in America. Other than the phenomenon called the Savage Nation, I have a book called The Savage Nation. It's out for less than 2 months. It's been #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for almost, 4 or 5 weeks in a row. How did that happen? Am I the only guy in America who says, saving America from the liberal assault on our borders, language, and culture? It can't be. Not if 400,000 to 500,000 people have gone out and bought this book. I have touched on a raw nerve that has been buried and suppressed in this country. What, am I the bad guy for saying I love America? I'm the bad guy for saying that I'm a nationalist? I don't think so. Beth in Michigan, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's your opinion, please?
Hi, Mr. Savage. Thanks so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's on your mind?
Well, my question is, since Saddam Hussein has gassed the Kurds in the past, how possible is it that he would do this again in an upcoming conflict involving our American GIs?
Well, if he's done it in the past, why wouldn't he do it again? But that isn't the main issue, Beth. The issue to me is, why has he not been tried for this atrocity against humanity? He killed, what, 30,000, 100,000? Nobody knows. Did you see those bloated bodies? Did you see the children?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the entire left-wing establishment, which cares so much about children, talk about the dead Kurdish children, the dead Iraqi children? I look at that footage, I want to throw up. It makes me sick. I want to cry. But I know why we fight. I want America to know why we fight. The man is a Hitler. He shouldn't have been shown in a nice suit from London Savile Row with Dan Rather. This is the footage that should have been run, Beth. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much.
John, San Diego, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
Hey, where was George Bush's fire in his belly? We're taking on a bunch of Islamofascists out to kill you, out to kill me, even out to kill Martin Sheen.
That's right. We face Islamofascism, which is a remnant of the great fabric of Islam. And the fact of the matter is, we need somebody to get up there and explain who our enemy is and why they want to take us down and how they're out to destroy our civilization. I don't want to hear anymore it's about the fact that we have bad foreign policy. We were attacked, not them. And I need somebody to explain it to the American people. And I hope that more people in the media are encouraged in order to do what I'm doing here today. Chris in Virginia, welcome to the Savage Nation. Chris, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's on your mind?
How are you, Michael?
Good.
Good. Hey, do you think Dan Rather was over the top in interviewing Saddam?
Over the top? I didn't hear your question.
Don't you think it was a bad move? Don't you think it was...
Well, my position is simple. He should have run footage such as the footage I am showing today after the interview to say, this is what the man has done. We have to put that interview in context. You have to show the man's victims in order to know who the man is. Don't you agree with me?
I do. It'd be the same thing if he interviewed Hitler 50 years ago.
That's right. In other words, let's say one of the newsmen of that time sat down with Adolf Hitler, and Hitler was wearing a nice suit created by Boss, or whoever created suits for the SS at that time. Would you have said, gee, he's a nice guy, he's a vegetarian, he doesn't eat animals, he doesn't drink liquor, he's my kind of guy, he's a good liberal? But you got to show the context of the man, don't you? Thank you. More of your calls when we come back right here on the Savage Nation. The phone number to get on the premier show on these and other topics, including the Hollywood Idiot of the Week. 1-888-MSNBC USA, right here on the Savage Nation. Be here or be nowhere. All right, welcome back to the Savage Nation. Many topics: the gassing video, Kurds gassed, the capture of Muhammad, the Dan Rather interview. We have yet to talk about what is sedition, which is what I want to talk about. There's a big debate going on in America about how far can one protest before it becomes sedition. Now, I am a man who believes in the First Amendment just about absolutely, except when it comes to promoting violence. However, there is a Sedition Act on the books, and I will read you a portion of it if you don't mind. When at war, to willfully utter, print, write, or publish any disloyal, profane, scurrilous, or abusive language about the former government of the United States, or the Constitution of the U.S., or the military or naval force of the U.S., whoever by word or act shall be punished by a fine of not more than $10,000, or imprisonment for not more than 20 years or both. Now, that was from 1918. It says when we are at war. We are not at war. And that is why, truthfully, I believe Mr. Bush should go before Congress to ask for a vote, an act of war being declared. Then we have the Sedition Act in place. Then we can stop some of these maniacs who are encouraging our enemies, weakening our troops' resolve, and confusing the American people. What do you think about that? 1-888-MSNBC-USA is the phone number for all of you savages and savages.